Dude, if you are an online coach who struggles with the idea of increasing your prices, every time you go to up them, you just seem to get in your own way. Well, then stick around, because in this video, I'm going to completely rewire your brain into thinking like a high-ticket coach and feeling good about charging your worth. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you three things. Number one, the damage that you are doing by undercharging. Secondly, the upside to finally charging your worth. And then thirdly and finally, some practical ways that you can increase your confidence and finally charge the prices that you know you should be. Increasing your prices for your coaching program is single-handedly the easiest and most efficient lever that you can pull to make more money in your coaching business, but it's also the best way for you to have a greater impact on your clients as well. And everything that I'm about to show you is proven with over 400 clients that I've single-handedly helped to increase their prices and feel good about doing it. The first thing that we're going to look at today is the damage that you are doing by undercharging for your coaching program. The analogy that I like to use to demonstrate this is one of a vicious cycle. You can imagine that the first action that you take, which is in this case undercharging, you speak to a potential client, you give them the price, they pay, they come on board. The first action that you have created is you have undercharged. It creates a series of negative domino effects, these things that happen sequentially in order because you have undercharged. The first thing that happens is, in the new client's mind, the perceived value of your coaching service goes down. The lower you charge, the less valuable people think the thing is. They actually did a study, a wine study many years ago, where they took some blind wine tasters, as in they were blindfolded, and they asked them to drink all of these different bottles of wine. They did a pretty good job of rating which wine was the most expensive just by tasting them. Then they removed the blindfolds and they could see all of these various different bottles of wine. And this was a different set of wines in this instance. And they asked them to score the quality of the wine bottles based on the taste. And almost all of them got it wrong. They all said that the wine that was the most expensive via the label that they could see was the highest quality wine. But what they didn't know is that the experimenters had actually tricked them and all of the wines were exactly the same. This goes to show you the psychological impact that price has on the perception of value. If we think something is expensive, then we also associate that with the product or the service being good or valuable. And when we undercharge, the perceived value goes down. Now, when your clients' perceived value in what you do goes down, they typically have less accountability. They are less disciplined with what you are asking them to do. If you're a weight loss coach and you assign calorie and macro targets for your clients to adhere to Monday through Sunday, well, if they're not paying what they should be paying for the program, they're less likely to follow through with sticking to those macro targets. So we see this negative domino effect downstream from undercharging for your services, and it is more harmful than you could ever imagine. From a psychological perspective, a lot of heart-led coaches, they worry about increasing their prices or charging their worth because they think somehow that they are doing a disservice to their clients by charging premium prices. But you couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, the opposite is true. The second thing that I want to talk to you about today is the upsides of charging your worth and charging a premium price point for your coaching service. The first point is obvious. It's the opposite of what we just spoke about. If you undercharge, then the perceived value is lower than it should be. But if you charge your worth, then the perceived value is higher. And when the perceived value is higher, you usually get a more adherent client. They stick to the plan, they follow through and do what they're supposed to do. But there's something else that happens that I think is even more important that we speak about today. And that is the fact that when you charge your worth, you can work with less clients and make the same, if not more money, which means that you actually have the capacity to provide a better service to your clients. This completely squashes the idea that charging your clients lots of money is somehow bad for them. In fact, I would go as far as to say that by undercharging, you're doing them a disservice. Because now for you as the business owner to make the money that you want to make with a low price point, you're going to have to work with lots and lots of clients. When you work with lots and lots of clients, you're going to spread yourself more thinly. You're going to be able to provide less of a service, be less responsive, and actually give them the tools, the coaching, and the resources that they need to get the result that they came to you for in the first place. in by charging more for your coaching program. The upside is that you can work with fewer clients and give each of them the time, care, and attention that they truly deserve. The third and final thing that I want to talk to you about today to completely rewire your brain and change your perspective on charging premium prices for your coaching is some practical ways that you can actually move forwards and make this happen. Because up until now, you might have this warm, fuzzy feeling in your stomach that you're finally going to do it. But the reality is that the moment that you get on a sales call next, or you're chatting to someone in the DMs about working with you, you're probably just going to revert to what is comfortable and charging those low prices. So here are 3 practical things that you can do. So practical thing number 1, which is probably the most quote unquote airy-fairy, but I genuinely believe that if you do this, it will have such a significant impact on your mindset around pricing. That is to create what I call an identity chamber statement. And this is something that lots of incredibly successful people do. They write a document that is really thorough and detailed and explains who you are in the future. What life are you living? How much money are you making? Where do you live? What car do you drive? What are your family doing day to day? Who is the person that you have become? The reason that this is so important, your current beliefs, the way that you currently show up in the world, are the reason that you are getting the results and the outcomes that you're currently experiencing. And if we want to change those things, we need to be able to imagine stepping into a new identity. So I read my identity chamber statement every single morning without fail. And I visualize myself stepping into this new person that I ultimately want to become. The second practical piece of advice to help you with this issue of charging more is make your pricing visible. If you sell via an offer document, as I do, then put the prices on the document. That means you can't back out when people inquire about working with you. You can't just quickly change the prices and amend everything, or you could, but you shouldn't. You just send them the document and it does the selling for you. If, however, you're still selling on Zoom with a prospect on a call, then put your pricing into some sort of document or slide deck that you share the screen with the prospect so they can see the prices. This stops you from backtracking and just saying a random smaller number because you're scared to say the big number. And then the third and final thing is really about increasing your confidence and proving to yourself that you actually have the right to charge these higher prices. And it's by creating a proof folder in your phone. Every time you head into a sales conversation with a prospect, every time you get an inquiry in the DMs from a prospect, go into your proof folder and have it loaded up with all of the amazing things that you've achieved with your clients, the transformations, the before and afters, the screenshots of messages from clients saying how much they enjoy working with you, how you've changed their lives, and just read through some of those messages and remind yourself that you are incredible at what you do and you deserve to charge these prices. Anyway, dude, hopefully you found this video useful. If you've liked this one, then you're certainly going to like this video too. And I've also got a free community for online coaches with loads of course material and resources in there. I'll link it in the first line of the description. See you soon.